You were reading.
Yeah. Revelation 7 and 9. I know something about it. We talk about nation again. Revelation 7 and 9. After this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude which man could number. Which no man could number, of all nations.
Now, when it says all nations, the reason why it's mentioned all nations, this is Yahushua in Luke, pulling out a prophecy of what would happen to the children of Israel. It's Luke, and I go straight to the point. Luke 21 and 4, and they shall fall by the sword, speaking by the Israelites, and shall be led away captive into all nations.
You see it, which has happened to us.
Yeah, it says, and Jerusalem shall be trodden down of the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled. So our people are led into all nations.
Even before that, we had so many captivity.
I just want to get it.
Yeah, I know exactly. Yes, I know.
They like to dismiss.
Look at the word kindred.
Bring that out.
The word there is the Greek is which means in the New Testament, all the person is descended from one of the 12 sons of the patriarch Jacob.
That's right. Beautiful. That's right.
That shows that those multitudes are Israelites, man.
See? So we can even go into Esau, understanding the etymology to break down our truth. The Most High made a way for us, man. But see what it is? The preachers, them, they don't want to bring the truth because they're in bed with the enemy. That's what it is. Can you read that? Isaiah 11. So that one will show you. So basically, if you're out there and one of your cousin of your auntie that is in church every day, bring that one, the Revelation 7 and 9. Let us read that with her and say, I will now precisely go to Isaiah 28 and 13. I believe we say precept must be upon precept, right? So now you link Revelation 7 and 9 with Isaiah 11, starting with maybe 10. 11.
Yeah. And it shall come to pass in that day that Yahweh shall set his hand again the second time to recover the remnant of his people, which shall be left from Assyria, from Egypt.
From Assyria. So when you look at Assyria, even look, if you look at, let's bring things to life now. You know DJ Khaled?
Huh?
DJ Khaled.
Yeah.
You know him in the beginning. You know after he was a culture. After he was a culture vulture.
Okay.
But DJ Khaled is a Palestinian, and now DJ Khaled is a Jake. Okay. There's no way you can tell me that the way the guy, his understanding of the urban music and the way he moved, the way he acts, his spirit is, listen, there's something you cannot buy. There's something you cannot copy. This guy this guy is a Jake, but he's Palestinian. And when you look at Assyria, it's around all those Turkish, you see some Turkish guys, and they look just like niggas, man. Alright? So a lot of our people, they have the spirit, a lot of them, we got a lot of our people out there. So don't see, alright? Don't see someone from another nation and assume that, oh, he's a proper Gentile. No, he's one of those, paper birds.
One of the ones that are mentally lost.
Alright.
It says from Assyria, from Egypt,
from Africa, alright? From Africa.
From Paphros,
same way,
and from
Kush, Ethiopia, and right. So we got our people there, man. Right? You say you have a brother that's Kush, but he's Jake. A friend, you didn't say that.
Somali.
He's from
Egypt.
And from Shinar, from Elam.
Yeah, Elam is, you got a lot of people.
Cities.
But even when you look at the Punjabi culture, the Punjabi culture is very Jake-like. Obviously, it's a mixing. But we got the cities, we got other things that,
Salam Fire.
It says from Shinar and from Amath.
From Shinar and from Amath, yeah.
And from the islands of the sea.
And from island of the sea. Alright? We got our people in Indonesia, we got our people everywhere, like obviously America, Caribbean, all of that, right? We scattered, so that's what he's talking about. So when I read it, when he says, and after this I beheld, and lo, a great multitude, which no man could number, of all nations and kindred and people and tongue stood before the throne, right? These people are the ones that you see and don't necessarily look like niggas, don't necessarily look like Tainos, you know, South American. They might look like Caucasian or more. Oh, there's a lot of our people because China and Japan has a very strong Hebrew Israelite culture, man. But you have to read into it because our people went there and they left. They left a lot of martial art was created by one of our people. He was there and he left it. You know what I'm saying?
What's the one with the sword?
Samurai.
Samurai.
All right. So when I say in Japan, it's like Japanese say, Japanese they want the nigger culture, but without the niggers. I understand that, but you have to understand that the spirit that will push Japanese girl. Look, even the way they dance, the break dancing, man. The way these some of the Chinese and the Japanese dance, the break dancing. Come on, man.
Sound system.
Yeah.
Mighty. Celebrity sound.
One of them want a sound class.
That's right,
Mighty
man.
something number. Mighty Crown. That's a Japanese sound.
Yeah. Listen, you got don't get it twisted. Even in Italy, I was listening to one drill music from Italy, man. If I close my eyes, I wouldn't know that these guys were like Caucasian looking. But the way they are, the way they sing, and the way that's Jake. We all know that's a singer was made with most mixed. Oh, no, that's the form of all things. Exactly, form of all things. So yeah, should I say it on that? You can get back to
what the brother was saying about like mentioned like when you said like all kindreds and all that.
kindred
Yeah.
nation.
If you can list that with me.
Jeremiah 31:37. Thus said Yahweh, if heaven above can be measured,
So we know heaven above can't be measured.
and the foundation of the earth searched out beneath,
The foundation of the earth would never be searched out beneath.
I
As
will
much
also,
as Esau tries.
Yeah.
I will also cast off all the seed of Israel.
So we know that the Most High would never cast off all the seed of Israel. So when they're trying to say all nations, all that gathered, those are the Israelites. Because then if there were the other nations, it's casting off these people. He just said he wouldn't.
That's
Yeah.
right.
That's the deception of the serpent.
Definitely.
They tried to twist the scriptures, the narrative of the scriptures. The Most High won't change.
That's right. That's
I
right.
said that the Most High is faithful and true. Why? Because he's consistent. You don't change, you don't waver. You see? So you have to understand, to understand the Gentile situation, you have to fully understand Yahweh Shai, why he came, and who he came for. And the purpose of why he came was to reconcile the Israelites back into the Most High peace. Between the Israelites and the Most High. Because the Most High is not a man that he should lie. The Most High speaks certain prophecies. The Most High cast away his people forever. And that would make the Most High alive and says his mercy endureth forever.
What you just said there, brother? This is what he's about to read. Very big news to say. Yeah, bring it out. Check it out.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 94 and verse 14. And it reads, for the Lord Yahweh will not cast off his people, neither will he forsake his inheritance.
That's the everlasting love.
That's it,
That's
yeah.
the everlasting love. I've loved you with everlasting love. You know what I'm saying? That's in Jeremiah or Isaiah. You understand? But you have to understand in Hebrews it says that without shedding of blood, there is no remission. So who is the blood shed for? The blood was shed for the Israelites. Because that's how the Most High views. But the scripture says the wages of sin is death. So in order for our people to avoid destruction completely, something innocent had to die. There had to be a balance. Something had to die as an atonement for the sins that were made. And it said the wages of sin were death. So something had to die. So the next most holiest entity was Yahweh Shai. So he died. He was he's innocent. So it said he was a lamb without blemish.
That's right.
So when he died, that's what forgave, that's what covered the sins of Israel. You understand? Because you go into the law, the scriptures talk about something had to die, like a goat or a lamb. You understand?
Hebrews chapter 9 and 12. Neither by the blood of goats and calves, but by his own blood he entered in once into the holy place, having obtained eternal redemption for us. Verse 15. And for this cause he is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament.
Who's under the first testament? Is everybody on planet Earth
Not only that,
under the first testament? It's the Israelites.
he's a mediator. He's the go-between. He's gonna like petition on our behalf.
You know, under the first testament. So if the Christians understood that,
Verse 15, Hebrews 9 and 15. And for this cause is the mediator of the New Testament, that by means of death, for the redemption of the transgressions that were under the first testament.
exactly.
See what you said there? He's the mediator of the New Testament. Now, we know he's the testator, right? Now, if I have an inheritance to give to my children, when can they get it? Exactly. Only after I've died. That's when now it's freed up. That's the point. Yeah.
It says, they which are called might receive the promise of eternal inheritance.
So that's what applies to everybody. So like I said, that verses like this, once you can't understand this, you can't get around that.
No.
You understand? But
All you can say is, you know, like you say, all you can say is, I don't like it, but
that's what I'm trying to say about, it's in our Romans, it says the wages of sin. It's death, meaning your wages, meaning your reward, your sin, is death. So when we as a people, this is Isaiah 59 verse 2, it says your sins have separated between you and your God, that he won't hear. So the Most High cast us off, okay, to destruction. All the curses came upon us. But he loved us so much. And that's why I said, I think there's a scripture that talks about he put his word over his name, or something like that. In order to fulfill his word. He's not a man that he should lie. You understand? So he had to send something to die to reconcile them back. So his word could remain constant.
That's right. But this is Galatians 4 and verse 4. But when the fullness of the time was come, the Most High sent forth his Son, made of a woman made under the law, to redeem them that were under the law, that we might receive the adoption of sons.
Redeem meaning buy back. If you understand the word redeem, people talk about redeem, they don't understand what that even means. To buy back. To buy it back. Meaning something was bought to begin with, and then you sold it off to the nations because of their sins, and then you buy them back. Then approach his possession.
The Hebrew word to that is qana, to redeem.
Yeah, 138 verse 2. 138 verse 2. Someone who's got Go.
Right, so this is the book of Psalms 138 and verse 2. I will worship toward thy holy temple and praise thy name for thy loving kindness.
For the loving kindness towards the Israelites,
and for thy truth, and for thou hast magnified thy word above all thy names.
exactly, because who's going to praise the Most High in the grave? Because the scripture says the Most High set us up to praise his name. That's in Isaiah. So if we're destroyed, who's going to praise his name? Is the Most High's name? Is the Most High's name found in Moab?
That's right.
Is it found in Edom? It said even though favor was shown to the wicked, they will not learn righteousness. So it's not in Esau to praise the Most Most High. That's why it says, who can praise the Most High in the grave? You understand? So we have to be resurrected as a nation in the earth in order for his name to be continuously praised. That's why I put his word over his name.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? His word has to be fulfilled so we can continuously praise his name, so the Most High's name can be glorified in the earth, man. That's why I say the song of three holy children, right? Verse 1, verse 6. For we have sinned and committed iniquity, departing from thee. In all things have we trespassed and not obeyed thy commandments, nor kept them. Even done as thou hast commanded us, that it might go well with us. Therefore all that thou hast brought upon us, and everything that thou hast done to us, thou hast done in true judgment. And thou didst deliver us into the hands of lawless enemies, most hateful forsakers of the Most High, and to an unjust king, and the most wicked in all the world. And now we cannot open our mouths. We are become a shame and reproach to thy servants and to them that worship thee. Yet deliver us not up wholly for thy name's sake. Neither disannul thou thy covenant. You see? And cause not thy mercy to depart from us for thy beloved Abraham's sake, for thy servant Isaac's sake, and for thy holy Israel's sake. You see what I'm saying? So, because of the promises that the Most High made of our forefathers, he has to honor his word. He has to honor it. Otherwise, it said that he's not a man that he should die. The thing that's gone forth from his lips cannot turn into a grave. You see? So his name can be continuously praised. So it says, to whom thou hast spoken and promised that thou wouldst multiply their seed as the stars of heaven and as the sand that lieth upon the seashore. Right? For we, Lord, are become less than any nation and be kept under this day in all the world because of our sins. You know? So that explains that.
Just like what the brother said, because like if you set up a king, you're going to need subjects. You know, you up there, who's going to praise your name? Who's going to serve you if everybody's dead?
And you say that he's the God of the living,
Yeah.
not of the dead.
Yeah. So any king needs subjects. Who are you going to rule over?
This is Acts 26 and 6. And now I stand and am judged for the hope of the promise made of the Most High unto our fathers, unto which promise our 12 tribes, instantly serving the Most High day and night, hope to come. For which hope sake, King Agrippa, I am accused of the Jews. But even Paul is letting you know that when it comes to the promises, like he says in Romans 9, verse 4, all of this pertains to the Israelites, he confirms it in Acts 26. No, you don't read anywhere in the scriptures where the promises, the glory, the giving of the law, any of these, like you said, was given to these other nations. So why would Yahushua be coming to save a people that's not being held accountable?
Makes sense, exactly, because the law was given to who? Israelites. And since the Israelites broke the law, there was a need for blood to be spilled for redemption, right? So that now Yahweh broke Yahweh. But you have to ask yourself, who did Moses sprinkle the blood on? That's the first question you should ask yourself. And after that, okay, the people of the covenant broke the law to the point where the Most High turned his back on them. But having mercy, like the brother explained, there was a need now for connection, for adoption, right? You say you need blood for redemption, blood for us to be redeemed. He brought his son. So why would he put that son for other nation when he never had a covenant with them in the first place? It just don't make sense. When you read Psalm 147, 19 and 20 tells you that he hasn't dealt with other nations. Only Israel, if known, he gave them the commandment, the law, and everything.
That's to show that the Most High balance, because blood had to be shed for sins. It's a balance. See, when you do iniquity, and you bring out bad vibration, because the laws are the laws of life. When you transgress the law of life, the wages of that is death. So there have to be a balance. Some blood has to be shed in order for everything to be balanced out. You understand?
And like I said earlier, I said something about like, why would the most of the reason why he allowed Adam to fall is because When we're in the kingdom now, we will appreciate righteousness. So he's the balanced God. So he made us see, you know, iniquity. Now in the kingdom, we will be fully governed by, you know, righteousness. That's a balanced God.
When you read the Old Testament, you don't see the other nations being put to death for serving another God. You don't see them being put to death for breaking the Sabbath or, you know, adultery or none of these things that will be
Bring before you carry on, bring Deuteronomy 21. Explain that. I think that's a very good, very simple, straightforward.
Deuteronomy
You know what I'm
chapter
saying?
14. They're not held accountable for keeping the law. This is Deuteronomy 14 and 21. Ye shall not eat of anything that dieth of itself. So like a cow is clean, like I was just saying, like you see a cow walking and it kills over, you can't eat it. Then thou shalt give it unto the stranger that is in thy gates, that he may eat it, or thou mayest sell it to an alien, for thou and holy people unto Yahweh thy power. So it's letting you know that these other nations ain't been held accountable for keeping the commandments. So then why would Yahweh come and die for people that's not being held accountable for keeping the law? Because part of that law, certain laws that we broke, you'd have to be put to death. So now Yahweh is that sacrifice.
You see this initial blood is the life. I told you that in the law. That you're not meant to eat blood. Because blood is the life. So I said, foot for foot, stripe for stripe, burning for burning, so forth. Because you sinned, so therefore life has to be lost. Something needs to die to balance it out. Life for life.
Romans 9, I start free. For I could wish that myself were accursed from Amashia for my brethren, my kinsmen, according to the flesh,
According to the seed line.
who are Israelites.
So the church likes to talk about the spiritual. That's how they try to get into the covenant. Yeah, oh, we're now spiritual Israel, innit? No, Paul said, according to the flesh. Yeah, who are Israelites.
To whom pertaineth
means belonging to.
To whom pertaineth.
So who pertains? Now, if something pertains to me, can it pertain to you? If this pertains to me, is it yours? No, it's
Yeah,
not.
but they want to make it like it's there. I don't understand these people.
Yeah, you know,
It's like,
Paul
come on.
clearly said who.
Yeah.
Paul clearly says who pertaineth. Yeah. If you know, if I have a complaint, like to a police officer, and it pertains to him, am I in trouble? It pertains to him. You know.
And glory, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory.
Galatians 4:4. Our Shai came to redeem them that were under the law, that they might receive the adoption of sons.
To bring them back to the covenant, which we fell away, we were backsliding efforts. We fell away.
To whom pertaineth the adoption and the glory
The kingdom
and the covenant.
and the covenant, old and new. Because it says covenant, I hear with the S, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, plural, that's both covenants.
And the giving of the law
It shows that the law is still being given. So why people say the law is done away with?
and the service.
Yeah, so the law is still very much in effect. Paul said, and the giving of the law. Only Israelites should be teaching the law.
And the giving of the law and the service of Yahweh.
Only we should be serving God. The Most High Yahweh.
We were the only one in the Old Testament that was serving.
That was, yeah.
That's why it will say, don't worship the gods of the other nations. He never said that to the other nations.
Where was that? Where was that?
I did that last
I
week.
finished it, yeah.
Yeah, you did.
And the covenants and the giving of the law, and the service of Yahweh, and the promise.
And the and the promises. Remember the first promises that we got in Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 1 to 14. Those were the promises, all that pertaineth to the Israelites.
Then it says the services of the mean that the only ones that can be Christians are Israelites.
That's
the
right.
ones who can follow the land whatsoever you do.
That's right. That's right.
Verse 5.
All that pertains to Israel.
Verse 5. Whose are the fathers and of whom as concerning the flesh
So it's
him.
hold on.
Hold on.
He even clarified it.
Yeah.
He started off saying to my kinsmen, my brethren, according to the flesh, and now he's finishing off saying, whose are the fathers according to the flesh, nothing spiritual, physical.
Physical flesh.
Whose are the fathers and of whom as concerning the flesh Hamashiach came.
Right, so that's it.
Yeah, who is over all, Yahweh blessed forever. Amen.
Now, when you read Paul, because it's Paul's letters that really, when Paul jumped on the scene, that's where all the confusion came about.
Now they're trying to say that if you're of a nation, you can be grafted.
Right.
They talk about the olive tree. The olive tree, that's the
Yeah, but the
Israelites.
other trees in Ezra, when you go back into the old, that's what I'm saying. I said the Christians failed to do something. Is to immerse themselves into the Torah. But if they read the Torah, they will understand when they say the olive tree, and they will understand the grafting, they will understand that it all pertains to Israel. They will understand
Even the
that.
same person that they say is the apostle of the Gentiles, which is Paul, they like to
Yeah, but the
use.
Gentiles,
In Romans 11, what did he say? Grafting in again. So he's showing you that the only way you could be grafted in again, you had to be
You were
in the
grafted
first
before, and
place.
then you go.
You had to be originally to be so you know that cuts it all.
We call it the wild olive tree. They got
Wow, why is it wild? Because you were raised up among the
Yeah, let me use it. That's what it is.
Applause and prayers. Yeah, but see, what it's showing, but what that's showing you, like I said, like when Paul jumped on the scene, that's where everybody wanted to bring this replacement
I don't
theology.
understand it because it says it on Zechariah says the tribes of Judah must be saved first.
Yeah.
That's why Yahweh came. That's why he kind of like. That's why he said, don't go to the Israelite front of them. Go to the lost sheep of the house of Israel because the tents of Judah according to prophecy must be saved first. That's
But
the
even
whole
fast forward right now, who brought the truth? It's Judah in America. They're the one that, it's through them that we know this truth.
We're the ones, they're the ones who in Genesis, they brought us to the river. That's how it goes.
And if you notice as well, like in all, but not only just Romans, in all Paul's epistles, like Galatians, Ephesians, Colossians, Corinthians, what does he say? Brethren. He says the saints. He's talking to Israelites.
Or even when you read James 1,
That's what I'm saying. In all these letters, they're all brethren, my kinsmen, to the saints. They're all showing you my beloved brother. And he's showing you in all these epistles.
let me read that one. Let me get you what you say. James 1 and 1. James, a servant of Yahweh and of the Lord Yahweh Mashiach, to the 12 tribes which are scattered abroad, greetings, shalom. So he's talking to them, he's not talking to you. You know what I'm saying?
so this right, so this is the book of Romans, chapter 11, start at verse 11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? Let me read it again. Romans 11, verse 11. I say then, have they stumbled that they should fall? God, Yahweh forbid. But rather, through their fall, salvation is come unto the Gentiles.
Israelite foreigners.
For to provoke them to jealousy.
Exactly. So Paul is saying, yo, they're more Israelite than you guys.
God.
They're like, what? We the pure blood.
So they're keeping all the laws.
Now, they're not going to try and provoke the Jews of the circumcision to say, listen, we're worthy of salvation too. We're there to be worthy of salvation. That's provoking them to jealousy.
That's right.
That's provoking them to salvation. Okay,
reverse psychology.
Exactly. That's the game that the most out of.
That's right.
That's what I said. I work and wonder in your days that you should not even believe. As you go, forget how it goes. It's in the Habakkuk.
Wow.
Habakkuk chapter 1, verse 5. Behold, ye among the heathen,
All among the heathen,
and regard and wonder marvelously, for I will work a wonder, I will work a work slacker in your days, which ye will not believe, though it be told you.
see that? You see that? Now, even to this day, you have a lot of them that don't want to accept the fact that, listen, you're going to have Jews looking at other They get offended. They get offended when they see it. You get a little bit offended in the spirit when you see a man like a white man and he's wearing fringes in them.
Yeah, I know.
I've seen that.
He was accused
The work of one day, man.
I was accused to be
You understand? You're gonna see certain Israelites that look like so-called white men, but act like us. That are like us. But some guys get offended by them.
When I was talking to him, I felt like a Hebrew Israelite to the point where he wanted to teach. I said, you remember? And when I say I'm from West Africa, like, no.
Yeah,
I'm like, what about the spirits?
Yeah.
So you got
Romans 8 and 16.
people that look like heathens that can sing like us. You know what I'm saying? That can perform on the athletic field like us. And they look like a white man. You know what I mean? So you have to understand, Jacob's seed has dispersed. That's why I said, it shall stay in the church of Judah from the four corners of the earth, man. Okay? So Israelites don't necessarily look like brothers here. You understand? So you have to approach this preaching the scripture of a spiritual mindset. You understand? That's what I have to gather Israel. That's how